My name is Jernicya Onyekwelu. I am from Memphis, Tennessee, and I go to a small school in Murfreesboro, which is called Middle Tennessee State University. And I'm a junior. I'm studying studio art, and I'm studying journalism, minoring in apparel design. I discovered that I was an artist, or that I wanted to be an artist, when I was little, like I would say maybe middle school. I used to, my teacher used to call me the artsy girl. I always had art books in my backpack. So I loved the 11 by 17 large sketchbooks. I would cut out little fashion pictures in magazines, and I would put them in Ziploc bags, and I would put them in my backpack, and whenever I was done with a school assignment, I would just open the book up and make little illustrations and collages, and I would take them with me to class. Even in lunch, like if I was done eating, I would just be doodling. So I feel like I always knew that I wanted to do something involving art. Like no matter where I went, I'd take my book with me, my sketchbook. When I was in high school, I did theater, I did choir, I did dance, I did cheer, and I did art. So I had my studio classes, I was in women's choir, and then I went to advanced choir. So we had like different performances we'll do. I did theater, I played as Mimi from Rent. So I sung and I pretended to be a stripper, which is kind of funny because it was a high school play. And yeah, I danced. My mom, she put us in so different types of programs. So within my community, we had like a community center, and we had a dance teacher who was a dance choreographer at Ballet of Memphis. So they would come to the community center and they would host little workshops for the little girls at the time. And whoever stuck to the workshops, they would come and perform at the Ballet of Memphis, and they would actually be able to be involved in the programs that they hosted. So I did New Ballet, which was also another program in Memphis. But it wasn't just ballet, it was different types of dances. It was different type of genres. We did African dance, we did salsa, we did hip hop, we did contemporary, we did I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of the name of it, but they didn't just give us one genre. Like it wasn't just ballet, it was all the genres. And it was so much fun because it like made me feel like I can do anything. So yeah, the main thing I do is art, but I do other things too. I admire several artists. I kind of like to study different artists from different genres because I don't want to limit myself to only identifying with one genre because then my art would be boring. So I like Bisa Butler. She's a textile artist. She's African American. I do love Kenneth Wiley. He does a lot of portraitures. And I also love a lot of classical artists. Like I love Leonardo and things like that. I feel like being an artist, you have to study the classical artists because they kind of made the stepping stones to like what's in now. I would say my inspiration kind of changes throughout based off what I'm learning. Since I'm a student, I'm always learning a different type of art, a different type of technique, a different type of structure. So as far as the process of making art, it's based off of what I'm inspired by in the moment. So like as of now, I'm inspired by African art. I'm inspired by my husband, who is Nigerian, and I'm inspired by his culture, his background, what he identifies with. I've been learning his language, and I've been learning about his tribe. So within learning something new and completely different from everything I was taught when I was a kid, it just gave me a huge burst of inspiration, like a new thing to like concentrate on. So I've been trying to reflect that within my art pieces. I've always been interested in like Harlem Renaissance art and different cultural aspects of like African Americans and like different type of identities and different type of art genres that was within our culture, within American art, I would say. But African art, I feel like it just really rushed me all at once. After I met my husband, like that's when I really was like, oh, this is different. It's not just African American. African art is within its own category. So I would say it was recent, like within a year. So within African identities, I have been learning about the African Mask Festival that they host every year. They wear these gigantic woven masks on their face, and they embody this huge suit, and they prance around in their community, creating like a celebration, but also showing their culture. But it's kind of artistic in a way because their suits are made out of found objects, like found material. So I guess it's eco-friendly as well. But I thought that the masks were like kind of identity because the person who puts it on, they embodies the mask. So within my art pieces, I kind of want to talk about the embodiment of the mask. I come up with the images with research. So I study journalism and I study history, and I like to research the background of art before I dive into making a piece that's inspired by a different culture. So for a while, I've been like researching a lot of different African masks, like different wands, what they're made of, what they represent, what tribe they stand for. And I've been combining bits and pieces of each mask to create my own mask, to create my own mask that still identifies with their culture, but still kind of identifies with myself because I put my own identity into it. My most favorite piece of art I created was my sculpture. She's named Lady Adu of Lagos. It was my first time tapping into ceramic art. I never really used ceramics. I actually never really liked sculpture because it's messy. It's extremely messy, and I don't consider myself a messy artist. I think I'm kind of prissy when it comes to making art. I like to be able to control the material, but with sculpture, it's no control. It's no control at all. It's very messy. It's very unpredictable. So it's kind of ironic. Yeah, my favorite art piece was my sculpture. As far as my latest art pieces, I've been combining biblical identities with African identities. I feel like they're similar. Like dealing with spirituality and culture and history and what you worship, what you believe, what you see. I've been really intrigued by that, so I've been trying to combine those aspects within my art pieces, but kind of make it so where they look like they're a part of the same thing. So as far as religion, I've been studying Christianity, but I've also been studying different cultures and how they reflect religion within their artworks. So as far as Christianity, most people know about the Madonna and baby Jesus and Mary. It's like the most popular piece that are within different works. I kind of like that. I like that there's like a consistency with our identity. It's so unique to the culture that they repeat it through different generations. No matter what decade it is, it still pops up. So I kind of want to combine Christianity and common biblical characters with African art, with African religion, with things that identify with their culture. So typically with the culture that I've been learning about African American art and African art, they identify with Egyptian worshiping, with gods and symbols, and it kind of piggybacks onto Christianity because Christianity is within different cultures. It's not just in America, it's in different continents, it's globally. So I kind of want to just put different identities within my art pieces.